Hi, welcome back. And today we're going to go over mastering the art of manifestation with Oprah's secret method. Shh. A manifestation, now that's the mystical, life-altering art of asking the universe for what you want. And if you believe hard enough, watching it appear like magic. Imagine walking into a room full of opportunity and whispering, "Hey universe, I'd like a promotion, a golden retriever, or hey, maybe even tickets to see Taylor Swift." Maybe. Then poof, life hands it all over on a single platter. Sounds dreamy, right? Let's not kid ourselves though. For most of us, manifestation feels a little like playing the lottery. Except, instead of buying tickets, you're writing affirmations in a sparkly journal and hoping for the best. And while you're doing that, Oprah is somewhere quietly manifesting empires. Clearly, she knows something we don't. Now, okay, Oprah is somewhat polarizing at the moment. She got troubles. But like her or not, she has had a lot of success, and she herself attributes it to the art of manifestation. Now, it's one thing for someone like me to tell you, hey, this works. I've seen it, I felt it, I've experienced it all, and it's true. But who am I, right? But you know who Oprah is, unless you've lived in a cave for the last 40 years or so. So if seeing is believing, then that's a safer bet. Now, certainly the idea of faith and belief is you shouldn't have to see it to believe it. But for those of you from Missouri, there you go. All right? So what's Oprah's secret? How does she turn dreams into reality without breaking a sweat? I went on a quest to uncover her method, and let me tell you, it's part wisdom, part sass, and 100% Oprah, but here's what I learned. Now, first things first, one of the biggest concepts with Oprah's method is dream big. And I've always said this too, and in fact, I even sell stickers on my website that says, think big, because what Oprah is saying with this is, you've got to dream big. And when I say big, I don't mean get a nice parking spot at the grocery store big. I mean, I want to own a grocery store, the parking lot, and maybe a small island on top of it big. That's Oprah's logic, and the logic is the universe has unlimited supply of goodies, so why ask for crumbs? Now, this has kind of been an issue for me in the past, too. And even though I am always going to tell you this works, and it has always worked for me, I tend to have some limiting beliefs at times, and I'm really working hard now on not doing that. Noticing it. Because dreaming big is tricky. It's a tricky business for most of us. Society teaches us to be realistic. And, set achievable goals. Make it through Monday without crying in the office bathroom. Meanwhile, though, Oprah is out here imagining herself to be the queen of her own media kingdom and then actually doing it. So here's the secret sauce. When you dream big, you give the universe more to work with. Instead of saying, I'd like a better job, Oprah's method is to declare, I'm going to be the best in my industry. I'm going to revolutionize my field and inspire millions. And the universe just can't resist ambition that audacious. Just can't. And you are not limiting yourself. Like I've said before, and I've always gotten the things that I've wanted, always. But I have always peppered it with that realistic, okay, maybe $1 million mansion in Florida isn't going to be possible, but hey, I just want to live someplace comfortable and nice that I really like in Florida. Now I got that, and I am not disappointed, okay? But here's the thing now, I got that. There was no way possible I was going to be able to pull that off at the time in life when we actually did buy this place. And even when we came down here, it wasn't to buy, it was just to look, to see the place that we had seen, to see if it really measured up to what our expectations were. No intention of buying because there was no possibility, financially or otherwise, at that particular moment. It could have happened, but it did. But I got exactly what I asked for, and that's okay. But always remember that when you do set a limit, you're kind of maybe cheating yourself a little bit. Not that this ever did. For those of you watching who are from my community, do not feel that way at all. In fact, I've often thought about, well, maybe I should ask you. No, I don't want to move. I like it here. But at the time, that's what I did. I've also done that in the past. I wanted a cruiser boat, and I really, could have visualized something really big and grand, but that would have cost a lot to operate and a lot to purchase. So I said, just something reasonably nice that we can weekend on. And I got exactly what I asked for. And then I was thinking, well, I could have gotten something a little bigger. But that's just it. You limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. The universe will bring you what you desire, but it will also only bring you exactly what you desire. But visualization, now here's the key to visualization. You have to visualize like a champ. It's where the magic really happens with the law of attraction. And even Oprah doesn't just think about her dreams. She visualizes with the intensity of a method actor preparing for a role. And really, that's it. You sit in a cozy chair with your eyes closed, imagining her future success with vivid detail. She's not just daydreaming about winning awards. She's mentally composing her acceptance speech, imagining the applause, planning her outfit, probably something fabulous with a touch of sequins, right? But by the time she's done, although she's already lived through that reality, this is where a lot of people tend to falter. Okay, and even myself in the past, I've simply prayed during meditation for what it is I'm seeking. That's the kind of prayers we're all taught, But I've learned to develop that into a full-blown visualization and feeling. The feeling is as important. In fact, the words aren't even really necessary. Visualizing it and feeling it, that's what's important. Our visualizations often look like this. Hey, I'd like a beach vacation, end of thought. Or, I'd like a car, end of thought. But now, like Oprah, she would visualize the whole scene, the sand between her toes, the sounds of waves crashing, perfectly chilled margarita in her hand, and her dog sitting by her side, because of course her dog is perfect, right? Or she'd picture that, that beautiful Cadillac Escalade in the driveway that just drove up, she just drove up in it and got out. The key is to make your vision so real and so specific that the universe has no choice but to deliver it. Remember, vague requests lead to vague results. Even if you're not limiting it, if you're vague about it, be specific, so detailed, and let your imagination really carry that. Let it run wild, and let it really feel it. And again, now I'm going to say, and this is Oprah's saying too, and she is so right, because I say this over and over, gratitude. It's the superpower behind the sauce, okay? And like I said it many times in articles and videos on the subject of manifestation, but if manifestation were a video game, gratitude would be the ultimate cheat code. Okay, you have the method, but now this is the cheat. This is the one that kind of makes it work, and Oprah swears by it. In fact, she once said, and I love this, if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. And I love that. It kind of goes along as a companion to what I always tell people who say they can't do this or they can't do that, especially when it comes to visualizing or believing what you visualize. And I always say, if you say you can or you say you can't, I know you're right, because what you tell yourself you can or can't do is absolutely what's going to happen. And it's the same thing with what Oprah is saying here with visualization. And if you look at what you have in life and you're grateful for it, you'll always have more. But if you look at what you don't have, the negative things, you'll never have enough. It'll never come to you. So I really love that. And it's so true in visualization in any aspect of life, okay? If you approach something with an I can't do that or I could never do that attitude, you're absolutely correct. You can't, or you won't be able to. If you approach it with an I can do this, I can do this, I will do this, you're right, you will. You just will. You know it, you feel it. And before you roll your eyes and say, great, another gratitude lecture, hear me out, though. Gratitude is like tuning into your radio to the right frequency. When you're thankful for what you have, you're telling the universe, hey, I'm ready for more good stuff. It's like sending a cosmic thank you note. And here's how Oprah does it every day. She writes down 5 things she's grateful for. And no, they're not always grandiose. They're not huge. Some could be as simple as the coffee was especially good this morning, or I found $1 in my jeans. The point is to focus on the good, no matter how small. And so grab a notebook and start your own gratitude practice. Bonus points if your notebook is as fabulous as Oprah's probably is. But now that's taking the next step would be taking aligned action. And here's where Oprah's method gets real. You can't just sit around waiting for the universe to drop opportunities in your lap. Manifestation requires action. Or as Oprah might say, you can't just pray for a win, you've got to do the work. But it's not about hustling aimlessly. Oprah talks about being aligned with an action, making the steps that move you closer to a goal in your life, in a way that feels authentic, purposeful. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. So, for example, if you're manifesting a new career, aligned action might look like networking, updating your resume, taking a course to sharpen your skills. But it doesn't mean sending out 500 generic job applications while stress eating Doritos, although no judgment if you're certainly in that phase. Now, hey, I know what you're thinking though. It isn't supposed to happen like that, right? Isn't it just supposed to happen? Isn't the universe going to just drop $1 million in my lap out of the sky? I mean, I really have to work for it? No, sometimes sure, it has happened. And it has happened, it will happen at times. Sometimes the universe just drops your desires into your life. More often, however, though, it comes from an inspired action, or you suddenly decide to play the lottery on a day you wouldn't ordinarily, or play it just in general if you don't normally play the lottery, or you'll find a method to get money, legally, of course, that you wouldn't normally consider. But don't ignore the real opportunities. Of course, be mindful of scams and such, but seriously, real opportunities will be drawn to you. And it may even be in the form of a dream job or a plan of action for work that you love rather than something that is just a 9-to-5 drudge to pay the bills. Now, sometimes you do have to work for what you want, but the opportunity to do it in a fun and enjoyable way will present itself or to themselves to you, and the money will flow to it abundantly. Now, don't discount the possibility of just finding things that you desire or getting them in ways you never thought possible. This has happened many times in the past to me, like the house situation that we're in right now. I mean, gosh, never thought it would have been possible. Wasn't even planning on it. Did have the affirmation, did want it, all of that, had that in action, but it was not, this is going to happen today or this side, this how, sometimes you won't have to work for them. But now let me tell you this too. It did have to do a little bit. It took really fast. It was like a couple of days worth of work to make it happen. But it all fell into place. It fell into place the way it was supposed to. Be cognizant of finding things that are gifts that you didn't expect, even if it's just $1 or a small object. Be grateful and recognize that the universe is starting to put things in your path and will build and gain more momentum. And then again, the more grateful you are for things along the way, the faster and bigger those things will become. But you have to trust the process too. And this is where it's really common to falter, because sometimes even for those of us who knows how it works, you've done the visualizing and expressed gratitude and taken action. Now what? Now, well, you've got to trust that the universe is working behind the scenes. You're not going to see it. Not even going to know how. Like Oprah said, let go of the how. You don't need to micromanage the universe. Focus on your why, and the details unfold naturally. It's like planting a seed. You water it, you give it sunlight, but you got to trust it's going to grow unless you have some way of seeing underneath all that dirt to see what's happening. You don't stand over it screaming, "Why aren't you a tree yet?" Maybe once, but then you got to stop, right? Your neighbors think you're nuts. Now, Oprah's secret weapon also, it's intuition. If there's one thing that her method hinges on, it's intuition. She trusts her gut. It's like a GPS for success. When she's faced with a decision, she tunes into that inner voice and it feels right. So she goes for it, right? And if she doesn't, she walks away, no matter how tempting the opportunity may be. So learn to trust your intuition. It takes practice, especially if you've spent years ignoring it in favor of logic. Hey, let's be honest. The advice of how your Aunt Carol once said always, be reasonable, be realistic. But once you start listening, it's like discovering a superpower. So there you have it. That's Oprah's secret method, and it's really, really in line with everything that that goes along with the law of attraction, mastering the art of manifestation. It's equal parts dreaming big, visualizing vividly, and practicing gratitude, taking action, and trusting the process. And it's all sprinkled with a dash of intuition. Will you wake up tomorrow and suddenly be Oprah? Probably not. But by adopting her approach, you just might start manifesting a life that feels a little more magical. And who knows, maybe the next time someone asks for your secret, you'll smile and sip your tea and say, I learned it from Oprah. Or you can point them here. And please, if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate you coming and viewing with us, and you have a great day.